another day, another Xeno. Let this grieving soul retire is a 13-episode fantasy, I suppose, comedy anime that takes a relatively simple premise. Our hero is Cry Andri, a level 8 adventurer, the guild master of the most famous guild in the whole kingdom, but in actuality he's a weak goober oblivious to everything that just wants to run away from all of this bullshit as far as he can, but unfortunately he can't because he is the embodiment of failing upwards, and pretty much anything he does either benefits him in some backwards way or only makes his friends and acquaintances stronger, only contributing to his reputation of an expert 5D chess with multiverse time travel player. So yes, if any one of you thought this sounds suspiciously like the backstory of Bucky the Clown or King from One Punch Man, you're basically correct. That's also the crux of comedy here, and as usual with Japanese comedy, I wasn't impressed, and after about episode 10, I just started to force myself to watch this show to the end. I should clarify that this is less the show's fault and more because I just dislike Japanese comedy in general. It was loud, obnoxious, the whole obliviousness of the main character started to seriously annoy at some point, and there's not even much to take from it in a world-building sense. However, as far as these shows go, it's actually not that bad of a show. The graphics are nice, I like the music, and if you're a fan of comedy, I think it'll be entertaining enough as the characters do interact with each other organically and you believe in them and their wacky ways. The next anime on the list is Delico's Nursery, a gothic adventure story about vampires and Trump. Yes, you heard me right. So in this world, all vampires come from Trump. Trump is an ageless and ancient beast of a man with whom every vampire shares a mental link. This link is so strong that if Trump feels sad, alone, or suicidal, millions of vampires are going to die, because they too will feel so sad they start killing themselves off. To avoid such a scenario and to ensure that Trump's boredom reigns eternal, Vlad's agency is created whose job is to defend Trump from the world. Our heroes, obviously, are part of said agency, and their task is to deal with an organization who worships Trump and wants to agitate him. But one of the best agents in the field, named Delico, has gone mad and wants to spend all of his time on child rearing. Shenanigans ensue. Remember that anime I rambled years ago? Mars Red, I think? It was a stage play about vampires and shit because people in Japan really love making theatrical plays about vampires, apparently. Well, Delico's Nursery is one of the prequels to a stage play called Trump, which is also about vampires and shit. And boy, does it show! It's a hard anime to talk about without sounding either really pretentious or really spiteful. The best way I can describe it in brief is, there was an attempt. As far as I assess it, it wasn't that bad of an attempt really, but at the same time it's most likely too auteur for most casual anime watchers. The graphics are weird, sometimes the 3D looks weird, the backgrounds and such look like they took some real life photo and put them through the ink sketch effect, which makes it feel like the old Resident Evil game, you know, where they put 3D objects on a static image. The music is forgettable, the characters are tolerable, they make sense if you remember that this is supposed to be a theater performance, but become very irritating otherwise, as nearly every episode repeatedly tells you about fucking Trump and his deal, and while all this shit is important, it doesn't help that there's also a lot of terms you need to understand, which in translation make the whole plot feel ridiculous, like a good chunk of the villains of the story are villains solely because they want to be in puberty forever. I can't say it's a bad anime for what it tries to be, but what it tries to be is so niche and specific that the only people I can recommend this fully are people who are planning on shagging their goth partner this weekend.